Okay, so just starting with some vocabulary. What is a radical? It's this symbol here. It's the square root symbol. In this case, it means positive square root of a number. This is what it looks like. This first letter this first number is called a coefficient. It is being multiplied by the radical. And then the number inside the radical is a radicand. Next vocabulary word, radical expression. It's an expression that has a radical sign in it, so it might look like square root of 3 over 2, or it could look like this. It could also get more complicated, but those are a couple examples. And then right here it says perfect square numbers. So perfect squares you're pretty familiar with. For example, square root of 49 would be 7, because 7 times 7 is 49. So for these, like square root of 49, I'm just showing you how we're going to be solving these as they get more complicated. For square root of 49, that can be split up into two factors, 7 and 7. If you have these two factors, you can take just one of those out, and you get the answer 7. Then for square root of 9, break that up into factors, and then you have 2 3s, so you just take the 3 out, and there's nothing left inside the radical, so the answer is just 3. For square root of 100, jump in the here, I'll give you some. Okay, so for 100, break it up into factors, maybe 10 and 10, 2 and 5, 2 and 5, and you break it up into the smallest factors, and then anything that's double, we can take it out. So we can take out a 2, we can take out a 5, we get 10. Seems like a long way to do that, but like I said, as I get more complicated, it works. What's that? Yes, but this is the method that we're going to use for the more complicated ones, so I'm trying to show you with the easier ones so it doesn't seem as difficult. So for 16, 4 times 4, if you have double of a number, you just take one of those numbers out and you get 4. Okay, so for A through D, they aren't perfect squares, but they have perfect squares in them. So to simplify them, we are going to break up the 20 into two factors, maybe that's 4 and 5, and get them into the smallest of factors, like this. And then you're looking for a double of a number that you can take out. For example, the 2 and 2, we can take a 2 out, and we're just left with 5 in the square root. Okay, so B, 54, what are two factors that make up 54? 6 and 9, perfect. And it doesn't matter which two factors you choose, because the smallest factors will all be the same. So for 6 and 2, we got 2 and 3, and 3 and 3. So we're looking for two of the same number. Okay, 3 and 3, so I'm going to take a 3 out. And then the 2 and 3, I'm just going to leave inside. So 2 times 3 will just be 3 squared is 6. So this here is a simplified version of the square root of 54. Okay, for C, same thing. 16 and 10, 4 and 4, 5 and 2. So I'm looking for, once I get double of the same number, I can take that out. And then 5 times 2 is 10, and that stays in. Sorry. Okay, B is a little bit different because it has a coefficient. We're going to simplify the radical, and I'll show you what to do with it after. So 8 broken up 4 and 2, 2 and 2. Then this comes out, so we would do 6 times the 2, and you're left with just 1, 2 in the square root. So you get 12 square root of 2. Is this what you've been taught before or no? No? Right. This is the way they use in Algebra 2, just to kind of, because in Algebra 2 you get cubed roots, and you get fourth roots, and fifth roots, and sixth roots. So for example, with a cubed root, you would be looking for 3, and you take that out. And that's why I'm teaching you this way, because when you have to do these, this is the method that they use. Okay, next one. You could simplify this first, or you can combine these. I find the easiest thing is just to combine it into 1. So 8 times 2 is 16. We get square root of 16. Break it up. Okay, I got 2 of the same number, so I'm just going to take that out. And the answer is just 4. Okay, so for this one, you can multiply the coefficients with the coefficients and the radicals with the radicals. So like 2 times 3 would be 6. And then square root of 2 times square root of 14, that'd be square root of 28. And then to simplify this, just break it up into factor 2, 14, 2, 7. And then we have 2 2's, so you can do 6 times 2, and then a 7 is just left inside. Okay, C, I'm going to do the same thing. 7 times 3, 21. 5 times 50, 250. So multiply these, and then I multiply these. Okay, breaking up 250, 25. 10 is what comes to mind. 5 and 5, 5 and 2. So I'm looking for 2 of the same thing. So 21 times 5, and then 5 times 2 on the inside is just going to be 10. Okay, next page. Okay, so over here it says, what about fractions with radicals? If you see something like this, you can just break it up as square root of a over square root of b. That's what we're going to be doing. So for the first example, like this, it would just be square root of 36 over square root of 49. It just so happens that those are perfect squares, so we get 6 over 7, and we're done. For the same idea, except for square root of 9 is just 3, but square root of 20 we can simplify. So off to the side over here, I'm going to just simplify square root of 20, break it up into factors, and then I got the 2 2's and a 5 left over, so 2 square root of 5. Hmm? It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, then here, same thing. So we got square root of 1 over square root of 3. Now square root of 1 is just 1 over square root of 3. Here's the thing though, we can't leave a radical as a denominator. So the trick for this, to get rid of that radical as a denominator, is we multiply this by square root of 3 over square root of 3. So square root of 3 divided by square root of 3 is just 1, so we're multiplying this whole thing by 1. But what it does is 1 times square root of 3 gives us square root of 3, and then square root of 3 times square root of 3 is just 3. So this doesn't have the radical as a denominator, and it's simplified. That's the last new skill. That's the last new skill. Then for B, same thing. We can't have that square root of 7 as a denominator. So we do square root of 7 over square root of 7, square root of 21 over 7. Well, I'm multiplying the whole thing by essentially 1. Square root of 7 over square root of 7. And 3 times 7, 21. You would simplify this if you could, but it doesn't simplify. Then for C, you could either simplify this first or after. It's up to you. Let's simplify it. Or I don't know. Okay, square root of 8 over square root of 8. Let's stick with the process. Square root of 56 over 8. Yeah, I have to simplify this. So then square root of 56, 8 and 7, 4, 2, 2 and 2. Then I got 2's I got to take out. So you could do it. So 2 times 7, 14 over 8. And then, what's that? Actually, there's no Schoology homework tonight. We're going to finish this page, and then there's like a practice part on the back. That's your homework that we'll do in class. Then 2 and 8 can both be divided by 2, so we get 1 and 4. And square root of 14 over 4 is your simplified answer. Okay, so these here are like the more complicated ones. I mean, they're the same thing that we've been doing. We're not adding any more skills. That's all the skills that you need. We're just putting them all together in this, so we're practicing. So for A, break it square root of 12 over square root of 3. Need to get rid of this radical as a denominator. Then we need to simplify the 36, so off to the side, breaking it up into factors. Then I have 2 2's and 2 3's. So I can take out a 2 and a 3. 2 times 3 over 3. 6 over 3 equals, the answer is 2. B, you can multiply by 12 over 12, but it might sometimes be simpler to simplify these first. So the 12, like 4 and 3, 2 and 2. I'm just going to simplify these before I try to get rid of the radical. It's okay. What's up? Okay. So here I got 2 square root of 3 Oh, yes. And then square root of 27 to simplify it. I got double 3, so I got 3 square root of 3. This just cancels each other out, and the answer is 3 halves, or 1.5, however you want to think of it. For C, get rid of the square root of 2 as a denominator. The 20 simplified would be 2 square root of 5. So 7 times 2 square root of 5 over 2. 10 times 2. Square root of 10 times square root of 2 is square root of 20. What's that? To get rid of the radical as a denominator. And then once I got here, I'm just going to cancel those out, and I'm left with 7 square root of 5. There's the bait. Just okay. For D, I'm going to get rid of the square root of 10 as a denominator. It'll be 3 times 10, which is 30. In this area down here, I'm going to break up the 150. And 5 and 30 can both be divided by 5. Okay, E square root of 6 over square root of 6. E square root of 12 over 6. And break up 12. So that 2 square root of 3. 3 times 2 square root of 3 over 6. Then 3 times 2 is just 6, so that's going to cancel here. And we're left with square root of 3. And F, I'm going to get rid of the square root of 2 as a denominator. 12 by 2, 12 by 2, 5 square root of 10 over 2.